Hello, welcome back to Becoming Better Together in Mindset and Business. I'm your host, Brie. Let's get started. Today, what I want to talk about is something that in 5 minutes can absolutely change the trajectory of your business. And you can use this trick called the 5-minute trick every single time you face resistance in your business. When you know there's an activity you should be doing and you just don't want to. Raise your hand if you've been there before, because I know in my world, I've done a lot of cold calling, guys. I've done a lot of door knocking. I have done the sales work that nobody really wants to do. And so when you face that resistance, sometimes we need little tricks so that we can get ourselves into momentum and moving forward. This trick, it only takes 5 minutes. And again, you can use it every single day from here on out. This is something given to me by one of my mentors 7 years ago that I still use to this day in my business all the time. So I'm going to share it with you today. Hopefully this can help you as well get yourself moving forward. So a couple things you need to know about me before we get started as well. 2 things. 1, I love sales. I did not used to, but I have been in sales and business now for about 9 years in different kinds of sales roles or running my own office, bringing on clients, and now I'm a business coach for all of these many things. But in the beginning, I did not like sales until I started to understand the psychology behind it. Sales really can be service. It really can be something you can use to understand people better and to help guide people to make decisions into something that's going to serve everybody's best interest. Now, sales can get a really nasty reputation, and that's how I felt about it for so long. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm in sales is what I would think for a while. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm selling people things. It was also foreign to me in the beginning, and then I got kind of good at it. And so what happened was I learned how to respect sales, and there's really an art behind it. There's really a lot that goes into, again, the psychology, and it can be beautiful. And so if we can stop fighting sales and just learn how to understand and appreciate and respect it, there's a lot that you can build in your own skills and in your business, and it will help you, it will help your clients, it will help so many things if we stop fighting it. And so this trick, again, can be applied as something to help you stop fighting the things that we don't want to be doing or having this horrible mindset about something that at the end of the day, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably somewhere in business. And if your business does not sell things, you will fail. And so we all, even though we have these thoughts about sales sometimes, we all need sales to be able to function and to run a business and to be able to get things in our life too. We're buying things all the time as well as we're selling ourselves constantly. So anyways, I'm going to talk about a lot of sales in here, but a lot of the psychology that goes behind it and how to respect it and get better at the craft, because it really is a craft, it's an art. And the more you can respect it, again, the more it can help your business thrive instead of fight against it and try to be the person that, oh no, I don't sell things because I don't believe in it and sales is pushy. If you can learn to sell in a way that is good for you, there's nothing pushy about sales. It really can be serving people at their highest need. All right, so we'll get more into that later. The second thing you guys need to know is that I also love science. I'm a big nerd. I was a big nerd. I still am a big nerd. You'll get some Harry Potter references in here. You'll get some football references in here, but a lot of times you're going to get science. And so when I was little, I wanted to be a veterinarian. And I was obsessed with animals and all things science. In high school, I had too many dogs put to sleep at that point. It wasn't going to happen. I needed to make a hard pivot into something else. But my favorite class was still anatomy. I just love how the body works. I love how the brain works. So when I discovered mindset, when I hired my own coach, shout out to Rob Dial, he is incredible. He opened my mind to the fact that if we learn about the brain, we can use it to our advantage to actually change ourselves, change our reality, change our thoughts, change our behaviors, change our attitudes, everything. And once I realized it wasn't this like woo-woo, these positive affirmations and suddenly you're this new human. Oh no, there's so much science behind it. How we form identity, how our mindset affects everything that we actually see and notice and focus on or not. How our brain can delete things from what we see based on what we tell it to look for. All of this started to open my mind to holy cow. I can bring science back in, but I can also utilize it in business and make the two things work together. So that's how I became a mindset coach for business people. I started to get obsessed about how the brain works and the science behind it. All right, so if we can mash these two things together, you're going to start to learn a whole lot about what this podcast can help you do and what this community that we are creating around these topics can really do to change the world for good, change things for good. All right, so today, the 5-minute rule. This is the perfect combination of the two of them. It is something you can use in your business every single day. You can use it multiple times a day if you need to, but it will help you get momentum when you're feeling that resistance in your mind of, I don't want to do this. And this happened to me a lot, especially when it came to cold calling, when it came to picking up a phone, making dials, or going and knocking on doors. I have done I've done a ton of both, just to be totally honest. In college, I knocked on doors as one of my jobs to sell windows. And that was my first ever sales job. And if you want to teach someone to hustle and teach someone how to just obliterate their ego and leave it at the door, make them go door knock and try to sell windows. I'll tell you that right now. It is not easy, but it instilled so many positive work ethic attributes in me. I am very grateful that I had that job and that experience because it led me down paths to get to today. And I see that now. So again, if maybe you've got a high school kid, maybe you've got a college kid, make them go knock on doors. You will instill some work ethic, let me tell you. All right, that being said, if you are facing resistance in your job now, in your day-to-day life now, it's often when we're switching between things. And there's science to why this happens. Let me get into that here in a second. First, I was gifted this 5-minute rule, this 5-minute trick by an old mentor about 7 years ago. And he was just retiring from the field I was getting into, and I was actually getting some of his clients given to me. So I was so grateful, and I just wanted to take all the wisdom this man had and just utilize as much of it as I could while he was still working. He honestly reminds me a lot of Jim Rohn. If any of you know who that is, he's a fantastic mentor when it comes to the world of mindset and personal development and self-mastery. So my old mentor, he was very similar, but I did not know personal development at the time. So this 5-minute trick, I understand now why the science works. At that point, I was just looking for anything that was going to get my sorry butt to pick up the phone and actually start making phone calls again. I had just transitioned industries. I had come from facility sales where I was selling uniforms and rental services and literally not toothpaste, but towels and toilet paper and hand dryers. I was talking to business owners about their bathroom, kitchen, restroom, floor cleaners, all that stuff that is the least sexy thing you can ever sell, literally toilet paper and floor cleaner, but I was pretty good at it. And so I started training people in how to sell as well. Anyways, I shifted, I got a different job, I got recruited into a new industry, I joined finance. And then I had this mentor that he found me as I was sitting in his office because we shared an office. And I was supposed to be, it's the shoulds, I should have been making phone calls. And he found me just staring at this phone like it weighed 10 million pounds and I couldn't pick it up. I did not have the confidence. I had been doing sales, but not in this realm. And so I didn't have the confidence at all at this point. And so he said, Brie, I'm going to share something with you that has really helped me. And it's only going to take you 5 minutes. And he said, what I want you to do, he said, I just want you to make calls for 5 minutes. That's all you have to do today. If you can just do that, I'll take you to lunch. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And hours had gone by at this point too, where I had not picked up the phone at all because I was terrified. And so I was like, okay, all right, it's been 3 hours I've been staring at this thing. If I only have to do 5 minutes, he's going to buy me lunch. Done. So I did. So I picked the phone. First call, nobody answered. Awesome, minute has gone by. Second call. Voicemail. Ooh, I was like, you know what? This isn't so scary. I can leave a voicemail. I can talk. I can use my voice if I leave a voicemail. Third call, I get the wife of someone who I was looking for the husband, right? And she was like super nice. Best opportunity I could have had there is somebody to not hang up on me now that I've reached a person. She was so sweet. Hey, call me back later. It's ironic that you call because we're actually looking for someone like you. Maybe you can help us. Give us a call after 7. I'm like, oh. Suddenly I have a lead, and it only took me 5 freaking minutes. So now I'm looking at my mentor like he is the gift from God. Like, how does he know these things? How did he know that this lead would happen? Very weird. And he just kind of chuckles and goes about. He was like, well, I can't leave for 15 more minutes. Why don't you just try another 5? And I was like, yes. Yes, I will, sir. I will absolutely try this. So I did. And suddenly 25, 30, 40 minutes had gone by and I was making calls. I had my momentum back. And so at the time, I had no idea why this works, but it does. Let me tell you the science behind it. Mentally, we do not like to switch tasks. As humans, we like to do the same thing. We like to be safe. We like to be in our comfort zone. So when it comes to going from one activity, maybe you're typing, maybe you're researching, maybe you're looking up client profiles, and then suddenly we have to switch tasks and start making phone calls, selling something. We have to start doing something that is a little bit of it causes a little bit of discomfort to us. Suddenly, we don't want to do it. And our brains, our minds are going to tell us all the many reasons, all the excuses we can come up with as to why we should not be doing this activity. And we're going to fight it mentally and we don't want to switch. And so when you have those moments where it was me, I didn't want to pick up this phone. It was new, it was foreign, it was a threat, it was scary. My mind was telling me all the reasons why my body should not grab this phone and start making calls. But it only takes 6 minutes, 6 to 8 really, 6 minutes to get your mind to catch up with your body doing something new and say, yes, this is okay now. I agree. We are safe. We can do this. So think about if you've ever gone to the gym and you just did not want to work out. And suddenly after about 5 to 10 minutes, you're like, okay, yeah, I can do this. We got this now. And suddenly you have an amazing workout. It's the same thing. We have to get our bodies to move sometimes before our minds are willing to catch up and say, yes, this is something we can do. I agree. And then suddenly, guess what? You've got momentum. And that's why this 5-minute trick works. It's just at the cusp of that 6 minute that your brain actually needs to be able to start that activity. And so for you today, I'm sure everybody here can find 5 minutes in their day when you face that resistance and you're like, okay, you know what? If she can do 5 minutes of calls, I can do 5 minutes of this. And that's all you have to do. And if you have momentum afterwards, which I bet you will, because once you just do it and you're like, I'm going to commit to this. I said I would. I'm going to try. Just try. And then 9 times out of 10, you're going to have the momentum and you're like, okay, I can do 5 more. And that 5 more turns into 25 more, turns into 35 more, turns into you actually making the calls all week long that you said at the beginning of the week you were going to, and yet maybe today's Wednesday, maybe today's Thursday, and the phone has not been moved. All it takes is 5 minutes. Commit to yourself, get your body to start acting, your mind will catch up, and suddenly, momentum. It will change so much. So I use this trick all the time. I use it today. I use it every day that I'm in business and I feel a little bit of that resistance. It gets to be that point where you know well enough that you're like, I know that I'm going to face a little bit of maybe I don't want to do this, but you get yourself typing the email. You get yourself to start drafting the content. You get yourself to make one phone call. Suddenly that barrier has been broken of we're not doing this. We don't want to do this at all in your mind. Suddenly you're doing it and it's not that bad. You know, the wife was really nice to me. It really, like, nobody yelled at me, nobody screamed at me, and suddenly everything was okay and I could do more. You can do the same thing. So I want you to try this today, wherever you can in your life, if it's in your business, if it's just towards a goal you've been wanting to try. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. Maybe you're trying to get more active. Go take a 5-minute walk. It can start there. And then I bet after 5 minutes of being outside in the sunshine or rain, you can do 5 more. And again, that 5 can start to compound. That 5 turns into 10, turns into 20 really fast. And momentum is what keeps us going and brings us success. So I hope that today you can go find 5 minutes, and I know you can, and go use that to push yourself forward. And then let me know how that goes, because by minute 6 to 8, you're like, we can do this. And suddenly, again, your business is moving. The dials are being made. You're getting success. You're getting the traction you want. Use it for a needle mover. Watch your business freaking soar. That's what I've got for you today. Go use some science, go use some nerdiness from me, and go use this mindset trick to find these spots in your business to really accelerate your success. That's what I've got for you. I hope you guys join me next time. Again, this is Becoming Better Together. I am Brie, and I will see you soon.